not the other side, maybe the other end, I'm not sure. Debbie asked me to give you a little of my background. I feel like I'm a bit of an outsider. I'm from Vermont and worked in public health until 7 years ago in the nonprofit world my whole life. In the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years I worked internationally, and I told myself when I turned 60 I was never writing another grant again, doing a log frame, or looking for a consulting contract. And instead, I moved into the simple world of the private capitalist sector, and I own my own business. And I've never done anything so difficult. I import those beautiful textiles that you'll see in the next room. I decided, step back a little bit, that when I started this business, I still wanted to work with women. I still wanted to work primarily in Africa because that's where I had worked. And I wanted to work with beautiful things. And I'm doing those three. And I'm still working in women's health care, although I didn't realize that when I started the business. And just a little bit more background. These women that I work with all own their own businesses. They're not NGOs, which was a decision that I made, that in Ethiopia, Swaziland, now I'm starting to work in Mali, and I work a little in Afghanistan, particularly Ethiopia where I started. There needed to be a private sector, a middle class, and that just supported women who were good business women who could hire more and more, I always say women, but in Ethiopia men weave, so can hire more and more people. After I'm gone, that was just a model that made sense to me. Then when Debbie told me about this evening in Disruptive Women in Health, I just loved the idea of talking. And I said, you know, employment is a public health intervention. And that's really so much of what I believe in, that these women get paid, they have some money, so that if, in so many ways, if they are living in an unsafe environment, if they have to leave a partner because they're being abused, they have some money to go back to their parents if they have to do something where they're not just dependent on the society around them. So they have some money to be safe. And I'm not saying a lot of money, and I'm not a Pollyanna about this, but it starts. They have money to educate their daughters. So important in terms of health care. They have money for better food for their kids. But it's more than just money. They come to work every day and they meet with other women. And they have a support group, like so many of us in different forms have done, whether it was back in the early stages of the women's movement or different parenting classes, whatever. They have that at work. I see that among them, particularly, and again, it's Ethiopia that I know best. These women come together every day, they take tea breaks together, they have each other to talk to for advice, how to deal with a medical problem, where to go. They have employers who care about them because that's a prerequisite for me. And each of these employers provides a variety of different kinds. I mean, it's not health insurance. It's not a concept that exists at that level. But in Swaziland, the woman who I work with has anonymous free HIV testing every 3 months for her employees. That's a country with one of the highest HIV rates in the world. She recognizes that. She doesn't just let it go off over there. I've seen in one of the smaller companies I work with, a woman who was pregnant and had 3 stillborns, and her employer was active in those pregnancies and in that the after effects of those pregnancies. There's just so many different personal forms that good employment can help in advance a woman's health care or her health status. And the last one I think of, and when I say to the women who I work with, I don't know, does self-esteem count as health? But I really think it does. And one of the most wonderful pictures I have is a picture of a young Ethiopian woman who when she started working at Sabahar, it was the company she works at, she had lost most of her teeth. That has a huge impact on your physical health, but also your emotional health, and your whole self-concept. She saved little bits of her money, and now I have a picture of her with this huge smile. Her teeth aren't great. they're maybe not US teeth, but she has a mouthful of false teeth. And she will smile, and she'll look you in the eye and talk to you. And I think that has a lot to do with how healthy you are, and how you present yourself to the world, how you take care of your kids, how you move forward. So to me, I'm still working in healthcare. And I still read so much, you know, but I'm not doing it anymore.
Thank you.
And I'm delighted.
Great, we're delighted as well.